Have you ever pondered why motivation seems to evaporate after a spiritual awakening? Before going through this transformative experience, you may have been someone filled with aspirations, dreams, plans, and an intrinsic drive propelling you forward. However, once you awaken, you might find yourself gazing at the same life, yet everything feels altered, not better or worse, just emptier. The things that once inspired you to rise from bed now seem irrelevant, and the dreams that once thrilled you appear to belong to someone else. The plans you established start to feel insignificant or too small. It is as if you are a balloon that has lost all its air. This experience is one of the most prevalent yet least discussed aspects of awakening, and it can induce panic. Why do you feel indifferent to everything? Why is pushing yourself an impossible task now? Where has your passion gone? It is unsettling when the inner flame that once motivated you suddenly vanishes. However, the reality is that your previous motivation did not simply disappear, rather, it has been transformed. What you are experiencing is not a breakdown, but a realignment. Prior to your awakening, much of your drive stemmed from the ego. This is not a judgment, it is merely how we have been conditioned. From the very beginning, we were led to believe that we must strive to be someone, to succeed, achieve, be liked, and impress others. We were taught to chase dreams and reach goals relentlessly, but we were infrequently asked one vital question: why? The ego has numerous answers to that. Inquiry, to prove oneself, to gain recognition, to avoid failure, to feel secure, to make others proud, or to evade shame. This list could go on. The crux of the issue is that all these motivations are grounded in fear. Fear of inadequacy, fear of being forgotten, fear of rejection, and fear of unworthiness. So, while your drive may have manifested as ambition, it often found its roots in the anxiety surrounding who you would be without success. A spiritual awakening strips away these illusions, illuminating what truly motivated you. You begin to realize that much of your activity was not driven by love, joy, or peace, but rather an attempt to fill an unfillable void. Once you uncover this truth, it becomes impossible to continue running on the same fuel. You lose interest in. It resembles awakening from a dream in which you were racing, only to find that the race was never real. This explains why, post-awakening, it often feels like you have hit a wall. The goals you once pursued seem hollow. The achievements you craved seem trivial. Even aspects like career advancement, gaining recognition, or being productive may suddenly appear irrelevant. It is not that you no longer care, rather, you have gained clarity. You can now see that no level of success will provide what you seek most: peace, love, truth, and freedom. However, this transition can be tricky. When individuals lose their previous motivation, they often think something is amiss. They may feel broken, depressed, lazy, or unfocused. In reality, what you are experiencing is something sacred, a transition occurring in the space between stories. The identity that once chased after accomplishments is dissolving, and what is emerging to replace it is not yet ready to express itself. This space is often referred to as the void, where you feel lost in a dark, quiet, aimless place. You are no longer the person you once were, yet you are unsure of who you are becoming. It is uncomfortable and unfamiliar, which makes our minds uneasy and leads to panic. We may try to revert to old habits, seeking motivation through hacks, routines, to-do lists, or self-help books, hoping to revive the old engine. But the engine is gone. No amount of pushing can restore it. attempting to re-establish motivation in the way you once knew is akin to trying to connect a modern system to an outdated power source. It simply will not function. The rationale behind this is that your previous motivation was rooted in a sense of separation, in the belief that you were incomplete and had to become something more. Awakening reveals the truth. You are already whole, already enough, already divine. When you truly absorb this realization, the compulsion to chase after anything fades. So, where does this leave you? If you are not pursuing goals, does that mean you are stuck, or that life is now devoid of meaning? The emptiness you are experiencing is not indicative of an absence of life. It is the absence of illusion. When you release your grip on the illusion, you create space for something genuine to emerge. Yet, this part is often overlooked. The new motivation that arises after awakening differs from the old. It is quieter and gentler. It does not roar with ambition, but whispers like intuition. It is not driven by pressure. Instead, it flows from a place of peace. It does not come from force. It arises from presence. This newfound motivation emerges from alignment. You do not take action out of obligation or fear, but rather because something within you compels you. A quiet pull, akin to the tide guiding waves. You feel invited to act, not commanded. You begin to engage in activities not to achieve an outcome, but because they resonate with your true self. You create not to seek validation, but because your soul desires expression. You assist others not for recognition, but because love flows through you. You communicate not to persuade, but because truth seeks a voice. Notably, recognizing this form of motivation requires time and quiet reflection. You must slow down, even in a fast-paced world that idolizes speed and output. This can feel counterintuitive. However, this stillness is essential, as you are not being unproductive. Rather, you are being rewired, and this transformation necessitates surrender. To reconnect with your purpose in this novel way, first, you must stop searching externally. Your purpose is not something you can find in the world. It emerges when you cease trying to be someone else. Allow yourself to remain empty for a time. Accept not knowing. That is where true clarity begins. Next, tune into what brings you peace. Not excitement or adrenaline, but genuine tranquility. What soothes your nervous system? What allows you to breathe deeply? That feeling signifies your soul's guidance. Follow it. It is your compass. Then, nurture curiosity without pressure. Gently explore what piques your interest or feels uplifting. If you weren't trying to be anyone, what would you choose to do today? You might find that the answers are surprisingly simple. Perhaps you would take a walk, call a friend, write, sing, create, or cook. It does not have to be significant, just authentic. Engage in service once more. Not in a performative manner to earn approval, but because helping others connects you with life. Assisting others without the expectation of receiving anything in return reminds you of your completeness, shifting your energy from lack to love. In that love, purpose comes alive. Maintaining patience during this journey is crucial, as awakening is not a linear process. There will be days when you feel deeply connected and days when you feel entirely adrift. That is acceptable. It is not about perpetually residing in high vibrations, but rather being honest about your current state and allowing that to be enough. Even the days of feeling lost possess their own sacredness. Eventually, a beautiful transformation occurs. You cease searching for purpose and instead realize that you embody purpose. Your presence, awareness, and being constitute all. Peace you carry and the love you emanate, that is the essence of existence. From this state, action flows naturally. You do not force it or script it. You merely follow the path. One day, you may awaken to discover that you are engaging with life once more, but this time not out of pressure. It comes from peace. You are creating again, but not for validation, rather for joy. You are moving, not to evade something, but to express yourself. No longer do you seek meaning, you live it. This new modality of existence may not align with the old mindset. The ego will likely insist, but what about goals? What about financial success? What about productivity? These elements may still hold some value, but their significance has shifted. You are no longer subservient to them. You are no longer pursuing identity through them. You might still establish a business, embark on a project, or pursue a dream. But now it is not about becoming someone. Rather, it is about allowing life to flow through you. There is no need to prove anything or to achieve worthiness through accomplishment. You are worthy as you are, not because of what you accomplish, but because of who you inherently are. So, if you find yourself lacking motivation following your awakening, do not panic. Do not attempt to fix yourself, for you are not broken. You are transforming. You are being guided away from illusion and into truth. And remember, truth does not shout, it whispers, it nudges, it patiently awaits. Trust that there will come a day when your energy returns. Not the old energy, but a new essence, steadier, truer, kinder. This energy does not arise from fear. It emerges from love. And in that moment, you will look back and understand that the emptiness you once dreaded was a form of grace. It was the sacred space necessary for your authentic self to finally express itself. Now, with nothing left to chase, you can truly live fully and freely as you are. For you are the purpose the world needs. Not the version of you that was striving so hard to be something, but the version that remembers it has always been everything it sought.